Yeah. Hey. So I say, look, young boy from a broken home, always feel alone. I'ma gone, face stone, but he gotta stay strong, hold his own. Pops is giving me a choice, raise your voice, get your mother's love, or Pops raise his boys.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Man Cave with myself, Cedric Edison, and the wonderful dude I get to call my friend, amazing man in the world, Ron Servin. Guys, we like to mix it up and keep it real authentic, and we got a real good treat for you guys tonight. I'm privileged that I get to call her a friend, an acquaintance, a colleague, international coach doing big things. Man, just an all around awesome woman, inspiration of mine. I look up to her. But before we, go any further into that, man, I got to allow my partner Ron, to give his what's ups and all that. What's happening, Doc?
You know what? I am just feeling fantastic. We've been trying to get Sarah on for a while, and she's like, kind of in demand. It seems like in her life to actually be here with us. And this is kind of near her night time. So we really appreciate her willingness to maybe sacrifice the
of my beauty. It's the beauty sleep.
You don't need it then. We got you all night. We good.
But yeah, just feeling, I think Cedric, you and I talk about this every week. I so look forward to this time we're able to spend together and just put our thoughts out there, have these topics that resonate with us, not knowing how it impacts not only us, but the listener that may get a little nugget of, of learning through what we put out there. And again, we kind of backtrack when we say this. We're not just two ordinary men. We're two amazing men that are just sharing ourselves in a way that we feel, that we wouldn't have otherwise, probably if we had never met each other. We probably would have just gone about our lives and kind of had our own dreams, but fate had it that we got together and created this show. And here we are with an amazing guest, our 40 some odd episode we put out there. So just a lot of good things happen and just in my life and in general in the world that I kind of am a part of, and just really excited to be here. So thank you.
Yeah. So I don't want to steal any accolades or say it the wrong way. So Sarah, I'll let you. I know, right? Come on.
Wow. I love drum rolls.
Yeah, you get one. So, man, welcome
Thank
to the show.
Oh my God, this is so much fun. I mean, it's such a privilege to come on not only with you guys, but in the Man Cave.
That's right.
I mean, this is huge. I love this. I do. I feel so privileged because I love, I was saying earlier that it's just so awesome to see men in this field, because you kind of are, a little bit dominated by the female coaches. And I love the fact that you guys are, coming out and creating your message for all of us. It's huge inspiration. So yeah, so thank you so much for inviting me. I mean, I think this is about the 400th attempt to get me on, because it's like, can I stay up till 9:30? Holy cow.
But do share Sarah a little bit about what type of coach are you? What people are you connecting with or wanting to connect to?
So I am a meditation, mindset, and lifestyle coach. And I really connect people, or at least I try to really reconnect to the authenticity of, who they really are. I help them let go of, outside attachments, and really, really connect to the, the beautiful person that they were born to be. And at HCI, that our fellow place where we've learned all this amazingness. I talked about finding your golden light or your golden Buddha within, and kind of chipping away at the cement that we get covered from, all the limiting beliefs and trauma and, other people's stories. And so that's what I'm all about. I'm kind of Zen. I love meditation, as you do as well, Ron. But I'm all about, changing your mindset so that you can connect to that person that you were born to be, because the majority of people aren't. And that's why we get stuck, and we believe that we are, not as good as we really are, within. So that's what I help my clients with. And I work with men and women, usually over the age of 45, because that's when we kind of notice the cement that's covering us.
I love that.
Yeah. So, Ron, we know what the cement is.
Yes.
We're familiar with it. Cedric, maybe. Yeah. You're not there yet, but,
So I'm at that place to where I'm realizing that time-wise, I'm really not that far from you guys. I got a ways, but it's, it's not that far really. But I'm not 20 anymore. I know that much, Dorothy.
Yeah. But go ahead.
I was just, something popped in my mind. I was just kind of curious, with the Zen and what you do as work. I'm kind of curious, like, what problem did you see to make you want to come into this line of work, or the specific niche? Like, what was it that you saw that made you want to come out?
And I've seen this so much in other coaches, but usually what it is my own story becomes what I teach others to do. What I noticed in my life was I had limiting beliefs, the dreaded I'm not enough, I can't do this, because of what other people told me. So my journey is now what I help others get through. And it's so funny that, they always say that you can only take your clients as far as you are willing to go, or that, what you have grown within. And so now I'm able to attract these clients that want to go to exactly where I've been in my life. So I would say it's come from, my journey, my personal journey.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all heard what I just heard, but that was powerful.
Yeah.
Because what I heard was, your story is your power.
Yes.
And you use your story and your transparency
and
life to change people. That's powerful.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I always thought it was something that I needed to not express and tell people. It was kind of, being vulnerable. You're in that generation as well, Mr. Ron, is that, being vulnerable is weak, and being vulnerable and telling your story is weak. We all kind of feel as if we have to wear a mask, but actually now I know how powerful my story is, because it allows me to help other people with the same story. And it's just blows my mind that now this is exactly the people that are coming to me. The people that really want to find that true authenticity. They've reached for everything on the outside. They have everything on their outer game, but they're not connected to their inner game. And that's what,
She's preaching. Because now I hear Lord preaching. Like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So it's totally authentic. I'm not like selling like a vacuum cleaner. This is like something that is like part of me that now I get to help other people with. Right. So, it's awesome.
And I think when we kind of talked about what we might speak around tonight, kind of what you just shared, Sarah, is kind of the big picture of what we wanted to share with the audience was just connection. And each one of us has had to really connect with ourselves before we're able to kind of move forward in our life.
Yes.
We're all at different stages of that, and we're still continuing to connect with those parts of us that are still part of our past, and acknowledgement of that and acceptance of that. And then just that willingness to connect with others. And that's what we're now moving into in our coaching career, in our friendships and our relationships that we have. And I know all three of us also have that bigger purpose, that which is greater, of connecting to just that part of us that just makes us all one. And, I think when we have these conversations, here, or we engage with others in our lives, I think it's that understanding or willingness to, kind of look into that person's eyes or their heart to know where are they at in that process. Are they trying to connect with others, like you're saying, and they haven't had that willingness or ability to connect with themselves before they, enter into a relationship or enter into a place where they can't move forward. And that's where people get stuck, right? We don't know sometimes why that happens, but I love the fact that all three of us have had just different journeys to get there, and honoring that there's no right way, there's no wrong way. So just the fact that you are able to wake up in the morning and be able to just feel gratitude for your breath or the sunrise or all these simple things that we tend to, plow through our day and don't, we limit our gratitude versus, and we spoke about this on Thanksgiving, about just more of a giving thanks versus just looking at Thanksgiving as being a day that we appreciate things. Why not make life a giving thanks mantra in our life to where that's just part of who we are? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, I love what you said at the beginning about, we really can't, you can have kind of surface relationships, but, when we're not connected to ourselves, it is much more challenging to connect, deeply to others. And I know now that because I've really spent, the past 2 years really connecting to who I am, authentically, without those stories, without the limiting beliefs, I feel like connection is like so important to, my coaching. And this is what people are getting out of me, is this connection and this really deep feeling of love towards myself. There's definitely always a place of deeper connection, and that's kind of the place where I am now. But because I've really connected to myself, more than I've ever have in my life, I feel like that connection is now reflected back to other people.
And it's tricky because this day and age with technology and connection in all these different social media ways, you can easily lose sight of this, just these connections that we're able to actually have thoughts and feelings and sharing of our emotions in a way where we can feel that authentic energy that comes from that versus, there are unfortunately a large population of younger kids that are moving in a direction of less, experiencing less of that. So, I love the fact that, we're able to have both of those things, because I know, Sarah, you and I, we're embracing as much as we can technology and trying to use it as a platform to connect with others, in a way that helps us, but also to be mindful enough to bring in our older school of thought process of just having those, face-to-face conversations. And Cedric, you're stepping up as well, knowing that you're not going to gain all these clients, you're not going to gain all this notoriety and this amazing growth by just doing the things that are more, I wouldn't say disconnected, but just different avenues of trying to connect to others. So it's our willingness to have a, acceptance and adaptability to what technology and what the world is kind of moving towards, but also not giving up on this type of connection that we need to foster and grow and really experience in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. Go ahead.
Which one, me?
No, I was just to say Cedric, because I know,
he
hears from us about, kind of how we experience, connection individually, as friendships and relationships. And I know he has also, tapped into that part of himself and does meditate and has that appreciation for what that provides value in his life. So I'm interested, Cedric, kind of right now with all these different moving parts in your life, where do you feel is needing more nourishment in relations to connections that you may need to focus on?
First, I want to say, because we've been together for a minute, and I've been over the last 100 days. I watched Sarah, and we've interacted. So a lot of that mindfulness and connectivity go to y'all. Like, much props. And Sarah beside. But it's interesting, man. Like that. Okay, and I gotta say it this way. This is real. Like, my elders and the people I look up to are saying it this way, because as I'm starting to make moves now, as I say, taking actions as big as my dream, which is ultimately small moves, I'm learning how I'm connecting with myself is by connecting to my purpose, and detaching from really the business side of it, and all of that that's encompassed with that. And that's how I'm able to block out all the fears, all the other BS, is just quiet the world down and just key in on my purpose. And for me, it's simply put to help people with what I know how to do. And I know how to coach. I know how to ask the right questions and not be afraid. And I don't know why it just pops in my head it's my calling. It's, with the right questions and words and inspiration. And so by me just keying in on the fact and just keep it simple, I'm here to help, and tap in and see what other areas come up in that. Because now, one day I might be okay emotionally. Like right now I'm on a high because I got a lot of traction going on. But on the other end, I'm noticing where I need to focus more on getting my financial side in order, because it's easier for me to go to a place of scarcity in my financial part, which could draw me away from wanting to help. And then it becomes about me, me, me. So it's really, and that's how it is in all areas. It's not just different one. I found a major one that I want to fix. Boom, like now it's my financial side, tapping into not being in a place of scarcity and going to a place of help, because you give help, you offer help, things are eventually going to return back from that. So that's kind of that area that I'm focusing on now, just to stay grounded in presence, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that is a question or not, Ron, but that's where it's at right now. I guess it's a mix of everything, man, because I'm at a point now to where I'm just kind of covering them all as they pop up versus cowering down and like, I don't want to deal with that ugly monster, because it can get nasty and grimy in there sometimes,
Well, it's almost it's almost that need to have that wheel of life just in different areas of our life where we can continue to recognize, those subtle areas that aren't being as nourished as they need to be, because those can easily become, kind of like you said, can easily be matched over, or you lose sight of something that's slowly slipping away because you've got success or things are happening in other areas. And, you start wondering why your energy level is low, and those basic needs that we have as human beings aren't being met. And, when you start becoming successful, the ego is starting to get, kind of fed, and all these other things that can just, you look at athletes and how, they can get swept away just in success and really lose sight of the important things in their life. They make bad decisions. They do things that they eventually have regret about. So, it's just interesting when you're talking about that, how we all should have like that guiding light of, this wheel, the wheel of life, that we know where are these other areas that we're just kind of not paying attention to because it happens so easily.
Hey, Sarah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had a question for you, but I thought you were finna go on.
No, go ahead.
I'm just kind of curious, because now it just popped in my head, like, man, wow, we might have some people that they might be hearing about this stuff for the first damn time in their life, or, or whatever the case may be. So for somebody struggling with mindfulness and the zenness of it all, like what would you recommend be the one thing that they could do possibly daily to help them get into that habit?
So I feel, as I'm sure Ron would agree, or maybe not, and that's okay too, is that the first thing that I do to really start kind of creating connection is, quieting the mind. I feel like that's like your foundation of really starting to connect. Because when we're caught up in the swirl of all the thoughts and the old stories and, the stress and the anxiety, it is really hard to really connect to your truth. So my first step, I don't care what you're doing, and, I do ask for permission for it, because there are people that, their critter brain starts, the dominant part of your brain. And when you say the M word of meditation, sometimes people run for the hills, because it's like, oh my God, I've got to like face myself and hope. So when I start a new client, I do ask for permission, and I don't even call it meditation. I actually call it centering, pausing, breathing, whatever. Because when you're new at really starting to get connected with yourself, meditating can be kind of a scary word, believe it or not. But, whether it's pausing, I start off by asking permission. Is it okay if we just kind of take a minute to connect our mind and our body? Because it's, 90% connected. What you're thinking up here is how it affects your body. So I always start off by, doing a little breath, just kind of taking some deep breath in for, receiving, deep breath in for receiving, and then an out breath for whatever you want to release, whether it's old stories or whatever. So that would be my first foundation of connection with self, is starting just to quiet their minds, to get out of their heads, because believe it or not, I think the statistic of thought is we think of 50,000 thoughts every single day. And sometimes we're conscious of them and sometimes we're not. But we have an average of 50,000 thoughts every single day. So no wonder we're like all in this like swirl, and then you're thinking about this, and then, the dog ran away, and then, oh my God, and how am I ever going to get this done? And oh my gosh. And, it's this constant thought. And where I am now is I have a very quiet mind. I didn't, but I do now. It's very quiet. I can, yes, my thoughts come in and it's like, oh my God, and but they go out again. It's almost like being a wave where it comes in and then it goes out, rather than being like, a Velcro, one of those like, those, I always think of this as your mind has that one sticky part of the Velcro, and then the thought is one of those balls that you throw at the beach and they stick. Yeah. But what happens is like all the thoughts come in all day and they stick to the Velcro. So that's attachment. And when we can, release them and make them a wave, and okay, well, there's a thought and there goes the thought. Oh, here's another thought. There it goes. We're always going to have thoughts. But it's the relationship of the thoughts that makes the difference in, getting caught up in that swirl.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I love that. And when you were sharing that, Sarah, I think that's just a great way to, explain to somebody that's just kind of new to that practice, because I agree. Even the word meditation, I think people just, start judging, I can't do it. I've tried it and I think too much and all these things that just are not what they should be really being, focusing on. It's just the fact that you're taking, because when I try to explain to a client or to somebody that has that critter brain, it's just spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes with yourself. It's just experiencing part of who you are. And I know, Sarah, you've heard this, and I know, Cedric, you've probably heard this as well through some of your meditations, is just being that silent witness of yourself, just to sit in contemplation on a regular basis, just to feel those energies, just to feel, how does it feel to experience yourself? I mean, just
Yeah.
that question you can ask a potential client and just, wonder how that might open up their mind to, wow, I've never thought about how I experience myself. I just figure this is who I am and this is what I do, versus just closing your eyes, because when we have our eyes open, we're taking in data, we're just processing it, we're judgments on it. And just that, I think just that basic introduction or questions, you can make people a little more curious.
Yeah.
Goes a long way. And I love the way you brought that up, just to create that space, because we don't know, sometimes we don't know if that person's ready or willing or able to step in that space, but it's just holding that space for that individual.
Yeah. So if I can just kind of add something there is, I heard this statistic, which is really funny. They were, talking about, how human beings really are afraid to be by themselves. And they did this study that, men and women, that they could either have, a choice of staying by themselves for 15 minutes with their thoughts, or they could choose to get an electric shock. And 30% of women chose the electric shock option, and 60% of men chose the electric shock. So instead of wanting to be by themselves with their thoughts, they chose to be shocked by like one of these electric shock machines.
Which is crazy, because I mean, that's just like the highlight of my day, to just create that space of time every day that I'm able to close my eyes and experience that. So it's just
that is like the foundation of connection with everything in all areas of your life.
Yeah.
If you can shift the connection that you have with yourself, it shifts all the areas of your life.
Well, I know you said do this, and I'd love for you to expand upon it. Is, because I know I was listening to you listen to it, and then I kind of took up the practice myself, but just listening to the motivational speakers that you listen to, like first you wake up in the morning, it's like you're setting your mindset and you're connecting to yourself through powerful words of others that are sharing their own experiences. And I think there's different ways, obviously, that we kind of start our day off, but I just love the fact that you shared that with me, and it made a huge difference in my life. So I'm interested, when you Cedric, kind of wake up now with all the different things going on in your life, how do you start your connection with the day? What are your techniques and things that you can share with us or the listeners that might be something they can consider to make part of their daily practice?
Man, it's something that I heard Les Brown say, and I forget the exact number or megahertz or whatever, but the first 20 minutes of you waking up is the most influential time for your whole day, because that's when your brain is firing and open, and it's a sponge. So honestly, I still start my day off. It's different now, because now it's, when I wake up, it's like, whew, I gotten away from saying, man, thank you. Like, shit, I woke the hell up. Like, for real. Like,
where am I?
Well, because, okay, so it's weird for me, because like sometimes I get scared and I'm like, man, I don't know how much longer I have, because now I just been kind of thinking about my heart a little bit, and I just been feeling some stuff, trying to pay attention to that. So it's like, so now I wake up like, ooh, all right, cool. Doc, say everything good. All right, shit, I'm still here. So it is one, like, waking up now in a state of gratitude, like automatic. It's become kind of habit now, and it's nothing major. It's just, boom, shit, thank you, man. I'm kind of glad I woke up. Ooh, thank God for that. And then it's, no matter what I got going on Messiah, no matter what, I got something planned. I gotta hear something motivational, because I wake up and I immerse myself in what it is that I want to do. And so I'm listening to those and paying attention to those that came before me. That's really it, man. And I'll be honest, like I feel bad because I got two gurus right here, like that meditate, and I don't do it as much, but that's, you and I talk, that's part of my 369, my 30-60-90. So
But Cedric, I love what you said. There just is no right and wrong with meditation. And even if you spend 3 minutes of just kind of sitting and being grateful or whatever, or pausing during the day, in the middle of the day, sometimes I'll have some of my clients just kind of turning on a timer twice a day and seeing and checking in with their bodies. How is your body feeling? Am I creating stress in your life? There is no right and wrong way. You don't have to be meditating on in the Himalayas, with wind blowing in your hair and the monks surrounding you for 3 hours. It really, it can really be just kind of, checking in. It can be 3 minutes, to start out with. And then, if my clients are comfortable, then it's kind of like we add on to it. And, I had a client, the other day that she's like, I just don't have time to meditate. I'm like, okay, well, do you have 5? Everybody has 5 minutes. It's just, if you don't have 5 minutes, something needs to be shifted in your time schedule. So there's no right and wrong. There really isn't. And that's why I never use the M word.
Yeah, Ron broke it down to me. Man, he broke it down into seconds because I was like, what, meta who? Like, nah, dog,
Meta.
Yeah, like, meta what? Like, oh, what? Nah, dog, I don't do that. And it was hectic. And I was like, dude, I have no time. I was working at a convenience store at the time and I was struggling with it. And he was like, dude, sometimes it's just to quiet the mind, you just need a couple of seconds. Just take a couple of deep breaths and just be aware of where you are. Just really think. And I was like, holy cow. And then that's how I started finding my minutes. I was like, oh. And I remember him saying there's no right or wrong. And then hearing you can do it anywhere. And I really started. I swear to God, I meditate when I would go to the bathroom.
Perfect.
I mean, even if it was number 1 or number 2, I mean,
yeah, but you know how you guys are on the number 2 part. It's just like, oh my God, you could spend an entire day meditating, for God's sakes.
That's right.
You spend a lot of time there.
Man, it's funny because the Man Cave, we've never gone there, so we've actually gone to poop talk in the Man Cave. All right.
With me. And I'm like one of the guys. I don't care. It doesn't bother me because I don't care.
But I love what you said because, I think there's that either misconception or just ignorance around the fact that it could just be connecting to your breath. Just be more mindful of your breath as you spend your normal day. I mean, just simple things like that
brushing your teeth, or washing your hands is just kind of being in that moment. Because we are always like, in the future, in the past, worrying about somebody else and, what everybody else is doing or what the kids are doing. And we just don't take time to be in the now. It doesn't have to be anything.
Right.
To get that connection, you just need to be mindful and to slow down.
And I think the important thing for the listener is, we're putting this information out there, right? We're sharing what we have experienced, our meditation practice or mindfulness practice. And, this just didn't happen overnight. This is, Sarah's been on her journey, I've been on my journey, Cedric's been on his journey, and we still have challenges that come up every day for us, but just things, if we're willing to stick to them, start connecting to ourselves, connecting to our purpose, connecting to these things in our life that we just kind of watch go by us. We're not able to stop and smell that rose or stop and admire a bird flying through the air, all these things that bring us into the now. And that's, you hear people say, life just goes by faster as you get older. I guess I've kind of found the exact, not opposite of that, but I find like my days are longer because I'm experiencing more of life as it unfolds.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Think about you, the listener, of things that you already connect to and expand upon that. We've started in a place in our life where we took action. I took action a lot later in my life than I could have. I mean, I didn't start practicing meditation until I was, 40 some years old. So, it's never too late. You, the listener, that have things that you do right now that you can build upon. It's not about starting over or thinking you don't have some of those tools. We're just here sharing our experiences and hoping that something that we say allows you to be more open to your possibilities. Just the space that we put out there is just our willingness to grow as individuals, to know that there's more out there for us to experience, and we're not thinking that this is it. And Cedric and I talked about that on a previous episode, just that whole coined phrase of that's the way it is, this is it. Well, bullshit. Let's not be content with saying this is what it is. Why not make it what you want it to be, and make changes in your life to connect with yourself, connect with others, connect with whatever is greater in your life. And I so appreciate just, Sarah, you for, committing to us, committing to your practice. The people that you connect with and coach, I'm sure, are just in amazement of what you're able to give to them. But just taking time out of your schedule and to be here with us, and hopefully you'd love to come back and maybe we can explore another topic. Maybe
absolutely, absolutely.
Deeper into poop talk or something like that.
Yeah, I am so into all that. Absolutely. No, I just thank you so much, and this has been awesome. Even though my beauty sleep has actually it's only like 12 minutes past my bedtime, so I'm good.
We try to honor.
And I wanted to acknowledge you, Cedric, for just the hard work you've put over the last week and a half. I know, you at times admitted, you weren't doing what you knew you needed to do. And, you stepped up, you've taken action, I've held you accountable, you've held yourself accountable in amongst all the other things going in your life. So, you inspire obviously lots of other.
Oh my God. Just doing your 100-day thing. Yes, it was so awesome.
But I never feel like I can tell you is, there's never, a time where I feel like I can't continue to tell you what you helped me in my life and inspire me to continue being the best man I can be. So thank you for that.
I'm rubber and you're glue. It bounces off me and sticks to you. But Sarah, greatly appreciate you joining us. But I feel like I'll be doing my soul and y'all a disservice if I don't put it out here like this, especially around the M word. Man, look, y'all, I was bad in high school, horrible. Ex-gang member, ex-Marine that got kicked out. Ended up homeless. It almost died because of a heart problem. So a lot of people would have called me a POS of life, because I was the dude your mama warned you about that carried a pistol everywhere. And if I can go from that to where I am now, if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I was the worst. That's how I viewed myself. Not now, but I was the worst of the worst. And if I can come around and do a 180 and look at it like that, I know doggone well you can.
But worst according to whom?
Oh, and it was only to me. It was only to me and maybe the media. They probably, if I would ever be on the news. I'm joking, but to me though, but I have to own that, and that was the way. I have to understand that was the way I viewed myself in order for me to be where I'm at today, because that wasn't a healthy thing, And I look back and the actions were bad. I was terrible. Going to a place of worship with a gun and drugs in your pocket, that's pretty bad. But that's neither here nor there. But I was able to come to it, y'all. And if going through all of that and having all of that noise in my head, I'm able to come to it, I invite you to just try.
I love it.
Just try it. That's what I did. And it's working miracles. It's working like some stuff I can't even explain. And it's all from me quieting my mind, connecting to that which is greater, and listening to my soul.
I love that. I love that. I didn't know. I mean, I knew part of your story, but oh my God, what? And so your connection to your soul is going to teach other people. And when you really connect to that purpose of who you are now, that's going to be who you're going to attract as your amazing clients, that you're going to be making such a huge difference with your story of what you've gone through and all the shit, I'll say it, that you've gone through. You're now going to be what's going to be attracting to you. I just love stories like this, because it just shows that when we change the mindset of feeling the worst, we actually become the beautiful person that, we were all born to be. I love your story. I love that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm just breathing it in. Even now, I'm just breathing it in.
Breathe it in. Because this is who you are. We were all born this beautiful, pure self, and the golden self, but everything gets piled onto all the shit and the mud and all the crap. And now you're connecting to your true self now. And this is who you are. Not, the gunslinger when you went to church or whatever you said. That's not who you were. It was just a way to get through to where you are now.
Yep.
I was coping. But yeah, man, so that's my goodbye to you guys. My final words. Just try it. And to Sarah, man, golly, greatly appreciated. I've gotten so much just from now and watching you. Y'all, like, amazing woman right here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I told you, that you're going to be someone. Not that you're not now, but you are going to be someone that is going to teach other people to get to where they need to be, because you're doing it.
Thank you.
To be continued. ... Right?
Yes. Yeah. I love all this connection. It's just so empowering to be connected with so many people who have stories to tell. I mean, I never did your story, but I have my story that now is going to connect to other people. Yep. So we all have something.
Yep.
Yeah. The ellipsis, I was just thinking that might be a workshop or something. The ellipsis effect. ...
Yeah, ... Yeah. Oh my God. This is going to be exciting to watch your journey.
Yes.
Man, just like I'm watching y'all's, man, it's the same. It's just amazing. Like, wow. But, so, everybody, man, wow, what a show. I'm full right now. I'm full.
I'm ready for night now too.
Right. Oh yeah, what time is it there? Like 6:30?
6:39. So I got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 8:30 for me, so it's close to my bed. Well, I don't have a bedtime. I go to bed when the kid goes to bed.
Yeah. No, mine is very structured. 9 o'clock. Good to go.
Well, good night to both of you. Yeah. Good night to the listeners, and can't wait to connect again.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Good night, Sarah. Ron.
Yeah.
Good night, Sarah. Good night, Ed.
Okay. Good night, John Boy.
Good night.
Yeah.
The situation I faced had no control over. Guilt weighed on me heavy, felt like a big boulder. Now that I've grown older, I see it more clearer. A mother's touch is important. I needed a nearer. Ay.